Between March of 2020 and December of 2020, the federal government pumped $9 trillion into our economy in our COVID relief program. In the last year, the stock market has lost $7 trillion and cryptocurrency has lost $2 trillion. Is it a coincidence that adds up to $9 trillion? I don't think so. I think we created some false assets, and what really has me worried is our national debt is actually $31 trillion. So I think there a possibility that there's another $22 trillion that's got to be flushed out of the economy. That's what I want to look at in this video, and that's what I want to find out. Where did this $9 trillion that our economy lost in the last year go?
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
It's estimated between 2020 and 2022, there were 2 million new millionaires made, bringing the total in the United States to 14.6 million millionaires. But wait, $9 trillion came out of cryptocurrency and the stock market in the last year. So what happened to those new 2 million millionaires? And how did this happen? And what are the consequences? Whenever you have something unusual happen, there are going to be unintended consequences, and I don't think the market has faced them yet. And I want to, first of all, show you how this happened, and then I want to talk to you about what's going to happen next. I want you to see this is the S&P 500 index fund, and you can see that it is moved up. It's right now just under the 200-day or over the 200-day moving average, but it's down 26% from its high, and that high was reached in December of 2022. Now I want to show you some interesting things. Again, this is a weekly chart. Now I've added to this ARK Invest, and I want you to see what has happened. This compares ARK Invest, again, back to January of 2017. And look how ARK Invest took off and achieved basically from here to here, a 600% return on investment. Outstanding, just magnificent. A lot of people made money. But I also want you to recognize that ARK Invest started to collapse before the S&P 500 did. Why is that? Keep that in mind. Why is that? Now what I've done is I've added Bitcoin to this chart. And I want you to see how it compares to the S&P 500. And what I'm suggesting has happened along here is there are some people who bought this at very low prices, $400, $4,000, whatever, and it moved up. What happened in here is they started leveraging. Their $10,000, the broker would allow them to take it up to 15. The 15 went up to 30. So they leveraged again, and it went up to 45. And then it went up to from 45,000. They leveraged up again, and they took it up to 60,000. And then it happened. It started to tip. And as it tipped, they got margin calls. Recovered, came back. Same thing happened. Got up to $65 a share. Tipped over, and now Jerome Powell came into the question, and he started raising interest rates. And this time, it got down to where it was, had a little bit of a rally, and then collapsed. This is the margin being called on it. These are newly made millionaires, $10 million, that roughly 66% of it went away. Let me show you this. What I've added here is Tesla. Multimillionaires made off of Tesla. And as you can see, went through the same rigmarole that Bitcoin went through. If you look at their movements, They're almost identical, just different proportion, different levels of ups and downs. This is the leverage coming out. This is the day of reckoning. These show you how overexuberance of the market makes very wealthy people and then turns them into very poor people. Not maybe poor, but puts them in jeopardy. And that's what I believe is happening. And when I ask who's on the hook for all this, these are the people who have built the big homes. These are the people who bought the condos at the beach, at the ski slopes, the penthouses in New York City, the boats, the McLaren, the Ferraris. And this all has to be reckoned. This all has to be brought down. My fear is the banks got involved in it as well, lent them the money, particularly in the real estate market, thinking it would never go back down like it did in 2010, 2009, but I believe it's happening again. I'd be interested in your opinion. Do you know any of the 2 million newly made millionaires from cryptocurrency and a soaring stock market, particularly Tesla and ARK Invest? Do you know any of these people? I do. I do know some of them, and I've watched them over the past 2 years acquire condos down at the beach, buy a boat, go on exorbitant vacations, buy their kids, their teenagers, new Mercedes and BMWs and Land Rovers. I've seen it. I know what it is. And what they have done is leveraged themselves into tremendous debt. That car is going to be repossessed. That condo is going to be foreclosed on. Who's on the hook for all this? Is it the individual? Is it the guy who's building a $3.5 million house down here and it's just been framed out and he's already put it on sale? Yeah, that's him. He's driving a McLaren. Do you think maybe that McLaren might be repossessed? Who's on the hook for that? It's the banks. They'll go down. I got in this Friday's Wall Street Journal. Here we see, ski slopes are going up, getting a real lift. Here's a house for sale for $5.75 million. Why are they selling it? Why are they selling it now? Here's one for $85 million. Why are they selling now? Because they are the new millionaires, maybe even the new billionaires. We had so much money. We have a debt right now, a national debt. The U.S. debt is at $31 trillion. In 2000, it was $4. In 2020, they threw $9 trillion. We just took that back from the stock market and from crypto. What about the other $23 trillion? What's going to happen there? How is that going to measure out? Who's holding that debt? It's our banks. And our banks are going to go down. I just saw an executive from Goldman Sachs on TV this morning, and he was talking about the effect of interest rates. Bullshit. That's not your problem. Your problem is the debt that you've put out there on condos. Where do they make their money? They make their money on SPACs and IPOs. How many of those have you seen in the last year? These banks are going down, and I'm shorting them. Here's a list of all the shorts I'm in right now. I'm moving out of this market. I'm going to cash and I'm going to shorts because we have created a $30 trillion problem that our government is unwilling to face. Oh, they're trying to pull interest rates down, up and pull down inflation, which is hurting the small guy. But I'm not really worried about the small guy. The small guy's been through the shit before. It's these new millionaires that are going to bring our economy down. We actually, in the last 3 years, produced assets that had no value. We had so much money and we had nothing to spend it on, so we created a cryptocurrency. And if that wasn't enough, we created some NFTs, a video of LeBron James dunking a basketball that was selling for how many thousands of dollars? A lot in virtual land sitting next to Snoop Dogg's lot that we then auctioned off. This is insane. There is so much money out there. We're manufacturing assets to buy because we've brought the value of real assets up so high, we wanted something else to create. So we created cryptocurrencies. We've created Dogecoin. We made all kinds of them to throw our $30 trillion at. This is insane. And this is a bubble. And it's about to burst. And cash is not trash. Oh, I know you think the dollar is overvalued. Look at it. I remember when it was in parity with the euro. I remember when I went to Italy and I had to pay up because my dollar wasn't worth as much as a euro. Now it's worth $1.13. It's a 13% premium. Why? Because nobody wants a Chinese yuan. Nobody wants a Russian ruble. Nobody wants a euro. No one wants a British pound. They want a US dollar. And nobody's going to want cryptocurrency in the very near future because it has no value. What? The US dollar has no value, Carrie. It is the only way I can go to the grocery store and buy an orange. I can give her a $10 bill and she'll give me $9 back. And then I can go down the mall and get a cheap haircut for the other $9. I cannot do that with crypto. I cannot do it with gold. I can't do it with silver. This is not that difficult. You just need to look at what happened. 14.6 billion millionaires. 2 million of them came on in the last year, and 2 million of them are going away because they bought funny assets. And their houses are going to be repossessed. Their Ferraris are going to be repossessed. Their beach cottage, their ski loft, their penthouse in New York. And then who's going to hold the bag? They're going to walk away. Who's going to hold the bag? You know, I know. Here's who I'm shorting. Okay. I hope you don't get caught up in this mess. I've seen it before. I saw it in the dot-com bubble. I saw it in the subprime crisis. And really, who created the subprime crisis? The people you trust the most. Your banks and your government. And God damn it, they're going to do it to us again. So wise up, subscribe, come to our tribe. I'm going to talk about this afternoon in our stock talk. I can't believe how out of hand it's gotten. I've got to go. Talk to you again tomorrow.